Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Coaching in Session. My name is Micah Reardon, and I'll be your life coach this evening. So, today we have the beginning of October, and we are going to be talking about fitness for this month. So, in the month of August, we were talking about relationships in the beginning, then we went over to mindset, and we're going to be doing something similar in the month of October. So, I know I'm going to get a lot of questions with workouts, diets, and all these things that people think that they need to have in their life or implement in their life in order to become fit. And I'm going to stop you before you run down that path. What you need is not a fad diet. What you need is not to cut your carbs and monitor how much rice you eat. What you need to focus on right now is what type of body do you want? And if what you're doing now is able to get you to that body. Because if it's not, you just have to modify what you're doing. And when you modify something, it's different than changing it. Because when you change something, it becomes more difficult. We don't like to change. We like things to be the way they are. If someone comes in your house and rearranges your furniture, you're not going to be excited. You're going to be upset. And the same thing is with your mind and your diet. Your body is not going to like that. So when you're cutting out cakes and sugars and sweets and breads and sodas and sugars, the brain is just saying, okay, not a problem, because I already know I can hit you with a subconscious stimuli, a craving, and you're going to break. That's what the brain knows. And we need to get out of that way of thinking. But it doesn't happen simply by changing to a fad diet or starting to work out more in the gym. That doesn't happen. So what's the secret, right? What is the secret to getting in shape? And the secret is not really a secret, to be honest. It is, if you want to get in shape, are you willing to do what is necessary? And the necessary parts are A, are you going to be disciplined in the foods you eat? And I say it that way because I don't care if you go to McDonald's once a day. I don't care if you go to Taco Hut and you get some tacos on the way home. That's fine. But there's going to become a point where you can't work out all the foods you're eating. It's very difficult to do that. And I don't recommend it, because if you're going to be eating junk all day, and then all of a sudden you're trying to work out to counterbalance all the junk food you're eating, unless you're a young high school student, you're going to have a difficult time keeping everything in balance, especially if you're an adult and your metabolism's slower. If you're older, your body's changing and your metabolism might have went down, and that's fine. But you need to focus on, all right, this is the lifestyle I'm going to have. So for me, my universal cheat day is Friday. And on Friday, I can do whatever I want. If I want to eat pizza, I'm eating pizza. If I want to have cake or brownies or donuts, I'm going to have it. But when it's time for gym, Monday through Friday, I'm working. I'm working out and I'm eating foods that I have learned over the years, over the months, that is good for my body. You might have a bad reaction if you eat pasta, right? You might gain a large amount of weight just from eating a serving of pasta. but a serving of rice might be more down your alley. So you have to start to experiment with the foods that you like and then portion it where you feel full. And then you're going to notice, okay, weight's already falling off of me because I'm not eating all of this in carbs. I'm not eating all of this in sugars. And we can take away sodas, and we can take away the evening fast food stops. But at some point, it's going to come to, what do you want? Because people are going to have the habits of going to the fast food places, and they're going to have the habits of maybe eating poorly at home or eating before bed. All those habits, right? Negative habits that are going to add on to your weight. And when you're trying to change those habits, you can do so for a certain amount of time, and then something happens. You fall off. And when you fall off the first time, you fell off for probably a good portion of the time, for either a good portion of the year or the whole entire year. That's why you don't see many people who are in the New Year's fad or the New Year's craze when they want to lose weight and they say they're going to get in shape. They will work out for 3 months, January, February, March, and then come March, everyone starts to wane out of the gym. They ran out of juice. They ran out of motivation. They started to implement a new habit, not going to the gym, not eating healthy, right? And as soon as you do it once, your brain already says, gotcha. And when your brain says, gotcha, you're in trouble, because getting out of that grasp, that mindset, takes a ton of work and a ton of discipline. I wish I can just say, if you want to get in shape, just tell your brain to be good, not to eat fast food, and go work out, maybe moderate, like a moderate workout. And it doesn't even have to be at the gym. It could be in your living room and watch a YouTube channel that does HIIT workouts, Zumba, yoga. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you move. So this entire month, we're going to be talking about different methods, and every video is going to have a topic where I'll be talking to like my bodybuilders. I'll be talking to people who want to do a more holistic type of diet, more body movement in your day. How can I implement more body movement in your day? But today is going to be an overall kind of jumbo swash of all of what is fitness. So fitness is going to come down to your physique, right? How do you see yourself when you look in the mirror? And how do others portray you when they look at you? And I'm not going to say that what other people think about you is necessarily what you need to abide by. But if someone is living in a fantasy world and they need to be woken up, there's a few people who can do that. Your partner, family members, sometimes friends. If you hire a trainer, they tell you the truth. And then the last one is going to be probably the most truthful one. Yourself. When you see yourself in the mirror, what do you think? Do the negative habits or negative thoughts start to appear more vivid? Because I can look at a person and I can say, this person is in the best shape of their life. This person looks phenomenal. And you can ask that person, they look good? And they'll say, no, I need to lose 5 more pounds. And, my my legs are not big enough yet, so I'm trying to get them bigger, etc., right? So they're worried about perfection. They're worried about the ideal body. So they're not at their ideal body yet, but from the perception of an outside source, they can see you as in shape or out of shape. And someone can look at me and they can say, oh, wow, you're out of shape. I'm like, okay, not a problem, right? But then at the same time, I can go somewhere and they say, how do you stay such in good shape and you eat, out every Friday and you have a good time? I say, well, it's simple. I make sure when it's work time is work time. And when it's cheat meal time, it's cheat meal time. So look at the Rock, right? Dwayne Johnson. When he does his cheat meals, they're epic. He makes pancakes as high as 2 feet. He has French toast pyramids. He's going crazy with the amount of food he's eating, but he doesn't do it often. It's a cheat meal because when he's not cheating, he's doing the right thing. And in life, people like to look for shortcuts. And shortcuts are good and all, but shortcuts sometimes don't bring us to where we need to be in the end. And I know it kind of defeats the purpose of shortcut, but when it comes to yourself, your diet, your mindset, your relationships, your career, you really can't apply shortcuts. And I have clients who come to me and they want to get in a better mindset, be more positive, be in a better relationship, be more happy, more money. And they ask for a shortcut. There's no shortcut. Success is not necessarily a straight line, but when you're looking at your goal, you just have to head straight there. And sometimes you're going to hit some roadblocks and you need to deviate and pivot. But when you're dealing with your goal, that should be your focus, not a shortcut. So when you're starting your fitness journey this month, and when we're talking about fitness, you have any questions about fitness, pop them in the chat, send them in my email, coachinginsession@gmail.com. And we're going to be answering those questions, right? We're going to be understanding what people are struggling with. And the number one thing people struggle with is holding themselves accountable and then remaining consistent by going to the gym, consistent eating foods on the days you're supposed to be eating the foods, whether it be just protein shakes or salads, doesn't matter, right? For me, I do a physique type of diet where I will get in shape and then I say, okay, well, I look great. And then I might have an epic cheat meal. And then I say, okay, now I have to work out this cheat meal. And it might take 2 weeks to work it off because it is easy to bring in calories, but it's more difficult to get them off. And especially if it goes into your body as fat, because the body, as primitive as it is so balanced. It is sometimes too intelligent for its own self. And I mean, granted, it does so much for us, right? It keeps us alive. It's the reason why we're able to move, we're able to talk, able to breathe, why we desire things, our brain, right? The function of our body, function of our mind. And that alone, the body wants a few things. Number one, it wants to be lazy. It doesn't want to put in a lot of work. So when you're telling your body to go to the gym and work out, it's like, no. We're okay. I'm not worried about that. Because there's nothing to be worried about. You don't have to worry about a saber-toothed tiger jumping out of the bush, dinosaur coming to try and eat you. So you don't have to be in shape, right? You can be as out of shape as you want, and you can barely walk a flight of steps because there's escalators, elevators. There's means for you to be lazy. There's means for you to be out of shape. And as long as you are content with your body type, with your body image, then that's what it's going to be. And it takes some focus, right? Some introspective looking at yourself to see if the body you have is the body that's going to give you what you need, especially if you're very goal driven. So if you have a goal to be a motivational speaker, and I'm not saying that you have to be in shape to be a motivational speaker, because that is false. However, if you were nervous because you were a motivational speaker, what could make you more confident? And the easiest way to be more confident when coming to public speaking aspect is going to be two things. A, practice enough where you're confident, right? You do it enough where it's just another walk in the park, another day in your life. Or you can make sure you look good. And the look good can be clothes. It can be physique, your figure. But at some point, you have to understand, people look at you and they judge you. I'm sure people look at my skin and they judge me. That is fine. However, are you the same? And it happens so frequently in our society that we forget that it's a norm. We judge people. We apply prejudice to people without even knowing. And our environment, mainstream media, parents, friends, stories, horror stories, all played a role in that development in ourselves. So if we see someone at night in a hoodie, doesn't matter the color of their skin, in a hoodie with their head down, maybe hands in their pocket, you might get a little nervous. You might lock the doors. And it doesn't matter, again, their skin color. It's a situation. But then, let's say we have a group of kids who are wearing tank tops and baggy shorts with their underwear showing, and they're just on the sidewalk being loud and belligerent, cursing, swearing. You see one person throw a bottle at a wall, and you say, uh-oh, these guys are no good. Let me get out of here. Let me lock my doors and get out of here. I need to call the police. And that's what happens. It's not necessarily that they did anything wrong. They were just being kids. They were just being teenagers. They were just being young adults. And could they have done something different with their time? Of course, but who are we to say that they can't go out with friends and enjoy themselves? So it's a two-way street. We see people and we apply some type of judgment on them. And then people see us and they apply some type of judgment on us. And whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. And it operates on the subconscious level. And then it can move into the conscious level, the choice level, where you're saying, I need to get out of here. I need to lock my doors. Because initially you're going to think about it. You're going to say, these people are no good, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, now the door's locked. Maybe you grab your pepper spray and you say, oh, if they come over here, I'm going to douse them. And that may be the cause of why you are out of shape. Because you're so worried about what's going on around the world, but you're not worried about what's going on in your world. So if you're so focused about what the kids are doing, what your boss is doing, what your friends are doing, what your neighbor is doing, you have your priorities mixed up, my friend. Because you should be worried about what you're doing. And then the people you keep in your circle, if they're not operating at the proficiency you need them to operate at, get rid of them. For me, it comes back to being able to handle your business. No matter what. When someone looks at me, they say, is he going to handle his business or he's not going to handle his business? That's my motive. That's my mantra. Handle your business. No matter the situation. Handle it. And as long as I say that to myself, I already know it needs to be done. If I go on the scale and I'm not at the weight I need to be at, I go handle your business. What do I got to do? Do I have to diet? Do I have to fast? Do I have to go to the gym and add an extra cardio session? Whatever it takes. And I understand time constraints because people are going to say that I just don't have time. I just don't have time. And it's similar to people who are unwilling to invest in themselves, whether it be personal development, like doing workshops or getting a coach. People are going to be unwilling to fork over the cash that a coach requires or is worth, because they want to get better, but they're not willing to pay to get better, in a sense. And it does take some type of stimuli to force people to want to get better, right? Force people to say, okay, I'm going to pay for a trainer. I'm going to pay for a coach, because they're at the tipping point. They're at the breaking point. And people wait until the breaking point so constantly, and it becomes a habit, and it becomes a problem, because they come running to me and they say, I need this fixed. I need this fixed. And I say, well, where was this 2 months ago when it wasn't broken? They're like, well, it was still broken. It's just, it was just still functional. Okay. When something in your life is just not working, don't wait till your whole world starts burning before you say, oh, well, I should go to the store and buy some fire extinguishers. Be prepared for what is going to happen. So when it comes to your fitness, being prepared for that journey. So when I have my fitness clients who come in, I ask them, of course, what is their goal? What would you like to accomplish in a month, 2 months, 3 months, right? Going down that line. And to make achievements, right? Or to make goalposts where every month they have to achieve this. And it gives them something to work toward, to stay motivated toward. Because this is not something I decided, it's something they decided. They said, I want to be able to run a mile without stopping. That's going to be 3 months, friend. Okay, that'll be our 3-month goal. So we will do other things for that first month and that second month, things that are going to help make us stronger, make you stronger when it comes to your cardiovascular. And then you achieve your goal. And it feels good. You do it and you're exhausted, but you say, I did it. And when you reach that goal, pay attention to what happens in your mind. Because two things happen. I did it, I'm done. Or I did it, what's next? And if your mindset is focusing on, I did it, I'm done, it's going to be a challenge to remain in that mindset of being in shape and staying in the body that you work for. I remember I had a good friend I worked with in high school and college. We worked at the nursing home together. And he was in high school, great guy, wonderful guy. And he came to me, and I was in shape. I was still in shape, and more so, I was probably in better shape in college than I am in my adulthood, and in my adult life, because college, what else is there to do besides working out, go to work, and go to school, right? When you are a little bit older, for me now, is I have a business and I have to do all the other things associated with just general life. So my life does become more hectic, but at the same time, you do make time for the things you prioritize, right? The things you value. You wouldn't be going out with someone who says that oh, I don't have time for you. I have work. Oh, I don't have time. So rain check. And it happens all the time on a frequent, consistent basis. Eventually, the other person is going to say, well, if you don't have time, then I don't have time for you. And then they part ways, separate. So that's a little bit about time, right? We all have time. We just have to prioritize how we use our time and what we want to do with our time. So in knowing that you're going to be the person responsible for the outcomes that come with your fitness, that comes with your dieting, everything. And it becomes difficult when you have to hold yourself accountable. And I understand how it feels to be overwhelmed. I understand that you might not be feeling 100%. I hear you. I do. But on those days when you're not feeling 100%, that is when you have to push yourself. You have to say, okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to do this. And you do it. Because it solidifies something in your mind that says, no matter what, Monday through Friday, I'm in the gym. No matter what, I'm going to run a mile every week, every day, whatever your goal is. But it has to be put into words, into a way that you see. Because if you're going to just simply not focus on what you can accomplish and all the things that are going to be difficult, the challenge, it's going to be a lot more struggling going on. And we don't want struggles, right? We want things to be butter smooth, non-stick. And we're going to be talking about that this month. How to make that workout, your body transformation, non-stick. Because I think the hardest part is waking up. The hardest part, the hardest part is going to be showing up. The hardest part is not going to be running the mile. The hardest part is not going to be lifting the weights. The hardest part is not going to be foregoing a pizza today and having a salad and then having maybe in a week or two, have that slice of pizza or maybe the whole pie, depending on how quick you want to get to the body you want. Because if you know me, I love sweets. I'm not going to forego a brownie, a cookie, or a piece of cake on a cheat day. I'm going to say, I want it. But not every Friday or not every week am I going to be doing that either. Because I understand that there is balance that needs to happen. And people fail to understand balance. So if people are going to be going to work, coming home, stopping at McDonald's and getting a Big Mac, coming to the sofa, after they got in the house and popping down with the Big Mac and putting on some series, right? Doesn't matter. But that is not necessarily challenging, right? And I'm not saying that you don't have a strenuous job. Maybe you stand up all day. Maybe you burn plenty calories at your job where a Big Mac is not even a portion of your calorie intake for the day because you already burned so many calories in a day. And if you're at that point, that's fine. That's actually a great way for you to keep doing what you're doing and not necessarily see the ramifications for your actions immediately. Because fast food and foods that are unhealthy for you are typically not going to kill you as soon as you eat them, right? It's a slow process. We clog our arteries, right? And then we have high blood pressure and we have heart problems. And it's because of the years of eating poorly. And people think that, I'm just going to eat healthy for a month and I'm going to be able to fit in my dress. I'm going to do keto for a month and I'm going to be able to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to go on this fad diet and only drink juice for 31 days and I'm going to lose 30 pounds. And you do. But the body actually remembers how you were, right? The composition of the body, the molecular data and structure of the body remains the same. Do you know how long it takes for the body to readjust to your new body? So if you get in shape right now, let's say you get into the best shape of your life and it's your ideal body. And before your ideal body, you were fat. You were obese. How long will it take for your new body to become accustomed to living in its new body? Many people don't know that. So people get to their dream body and all of a sudden they say, I got my dream body. Okay, I'm going to go have a hamburger. I'm going to miss the gym today because I already have my dream body. So it should stay the same, right? No. It won't. Because that's not how the body works. 3 years. It takes 3 years for your body to change the way it is structured. The DNA, basically, right? Forming. So if you're building muscle, that's going to take some time. That's why you don't see too many jacked 15, 16-year-olds around. Yeah, they're toned, right? They have their muscles, but they're not necessarily humongous. I remember when I was young and I started working out, I was 15 years old and I was in good shape, right? But my muscles were, let's say they were 20-inch biceps, right? I don't even think they were. But when I looked at my father was in construction and he had arms as big as boulders. And I was like, his arm is like probably 4 of my arms and I'm working out. My body wasn't ready. But the more I did it, the more I grew. My body started to develop, get stronger. And my mind started to realize, oh, he wants to get stronger. He needs more muscle. Let's make it happen, people. So the brain gets everyone in order, gets all the DNA, all the molecules, and saying, all right, guys, we're going to make him stronger. We're going to be able to make sure he can lift all the weight he wants to lift, run as far as he wants to run. We're going to do that. But it's a process. And people fail to understand that working out, getting in shape is a process. It's not something that you just do when you need to lose 5-10 pounds. It has to be a lifestyle. And people who think that they can just lose a certain amount of weight, maybe get to a goal weight, and then think that they can just continue with their previous patterns, it doesn't work that way. You have to continue with your new patterns and then implement ways that you're going to be satiated and not break those patterns again. So, great example is, let's say you go cold turkey on sweets, sugars, breads, and you are getting in shape. And you do it for 3 months. But then all of a sudden you get a craving for some ice cream. Guess what? You give in. And you gain 2 pounds, right, the next day. It might not be that drastic, but let's say you gain 2 pounds. Oh my God, I gained 2 pounds from eating ice cream, but it was so good. And then your brain now is spiked on sugars and you're like, okay, I need more sugar. And you keep going down that path. Well, the only thing you learned is I can get my body in shape in 3 months. And as long as I know that I have that time, that 3 months to get in shape, I can do what I want. That's the subconscious level of what your body is telling you, right? Your mind is telling you. And we can't operate like that. We have to be able to understand that, all right, I understand I want this ice cream, but this ice cream is not going to be beneficial to the body that I'm trying to get or maintain. So I forego the ice cream. And I might forego the ice cream for months. And then all of a sudden I say, you know what? I'm in a good place. Let me have some ice cream. A treat. A cheat meal. And I enjoy my ice cream. People are so strict when it comes to diets that they say, oh, you can't eat that. You can't do this. You can't do that. And for me, I say, as long as you're eating consciously, then you are going to be able to make better decisions. And people fail to pay attention to what they eat. So you might have a very healthy meal, but your healthy meal might be packed with foods like nuts and berries, dried fruits that are going to be high in calorie. And you don't pay attention to that because you're thinking, oh, that's healthy food, right? That's healthy food. And then all of a sudden you say, well, I had my healthy food. Now I'm going to have a slice of pizza. Now we're over our carb intake, we're over our fat intake, and maybe our protein take is around where it should be. And it becomes a challenge because we all want to get in shape easily when we want to get in shape. We all want to just simply go on the treadmill for 5 minutes and then we magically get off and we're in shape. No, it takes hours, weeks, months, so maybe even years to get to where you need to be. And what I have found is that when your mindset is focused on being in shape, being fit, it becomes very simple to get in shape. And I'll tell you, the first time that I woke up when I guess I started my fitness journey and then was maybe falling off in a sense. So 15, 16, I'm a young man, and you got to work out, you got to look good, otherwise you don't get the girls. So I worked out, I looked good. And then everything was cool. 2 years, 3 years. I'm like, this is easy, right? But when you do something for that long, you say, you know what? Maybe I need a break, right? You start to feel burnout. You might want to change a pace. And so I would take breaks, right? I would work out instead of for an hour, I might work out for 15, maybe 30 minutes, right? So now I'm changing how I'm working out. I'm not remaining consistent. And it becomes every day, every day, every day, every day. Before you know it, I'm already gaining weight or I'm losing muscle. And I said, whoa, 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 what's going on here? So for me, it was a wake up call saying, if you want this type of lifestyle, you have to maintain it at a high efficiency, right? You have to be able to produce what is needed to keep that body going. And for many people, they don't have the slightest clue of how to keep going when they start. So if you're having a hard time after the start, because it's easy to start, right? You go to the gym, get a gym membership, and you maybe watch some YouTube channels, and before you know it, you're on the treadmill, where you're on the Stairmaster, or you're on the bench. And what comes after that is going to be either your pure determination or you deciding, okay, well, I didn't think it was this much work. I think I'm over my head. So having someone who's going to hold you accountable, like a trainer, a coach, a friend, can work for working out in the gym, but you want to make sure it is going to be someone who's going to be there every step of the way, regardless of how they're feeling. So for me, as a coach, of course, I'm going to be there along the way, right? I have an obligation to my clients. They purchased a product, and of course, I have to be able to deliver. And if I'm not able to deliver, right, that's on me, right? I'm out of work. And if you have a friend, they can easily say, you know what, I just don't feel like going to the gym today. How about you just come over, we just watch movies? And you might say, that sounds like a good idea. Or you might say, no, I want to go to the gym. Are you coming, yes or no? And then he's like, no. Or she's like, no. That becomes a problem, because now you are having to combat a negative stimuli. That person is saying they don't want to go to the gym. But then at the same time, you can be that positive stimuli and saying, hey, we're going to the gym, and you get them going. And then they go to the gym with you. But you have to find people who are going to understand that. Because if you're just going to get, your cousin, may or may not work depending on the body type of the cousin, habits, lifestyle, etc. All of those play a role. And we're going to be diving into all of that as the month goes on. But for now, we're just having a brief overview of what it is to be in shape, what it is to be fit. And we're going to be having health professionals coming on. I'm going to try to get some interviews with some fitness trainers. Maybe just get a regular person who's in shape to do an interview with me, and just to ask about their fitness, right? To ask about what they do to stay in shape, how do they approach fitness, and simply going on that realm, on that aspect. Because it is not rocket science when it comes to getting in shape, staying in shape. People have the most difficult time continuing with something that is difficult, but when it comes to something that's easy, they can do it without effort. Oh, I have to watch 3 hours of this Game of Thrones. I can do that. I love Game of Thrones. Oh, I have to um, sit for an hour at this restaurant and wait for my food. Easy, because I'm getting something in the end. This could be delicious. So we can wait, but when we want something, we always find means for it. Look at the iPhone that is coming out. I think the only thing new for the iPhone, and I might be wrong because I gave up iPhone after like 9 or something, I think. It was always a small upgrade. It was nothing groundbreaking. We gave you a better camera and that's it. But more money, $500 more, but you get a little bit extra memory, guys. That's why it costs so much. So it's a problem when we are able to do things that give us quick happiness, right? Maybe buying an ice cream, buying a hamburger, getting an electronic, going to the movies, right? Like quick satisfaction. But when we have to prolong our satisfaction, prolong our happiness, it becomes more challenging because people want to see results and they want to see them immediately. And as much as I say, I wish I can give you the results after day one, it does take some time. And for my coaching clients, I tell them typically it takes 3 months to see true change. Because after the first session, you're going to be thinking different. Guarantee you, 100%. After the first month, you're going to be thinking different, even more so than the first session. But it takes about 3 months, I've noticed, for people to start to wake up. And then at that 3-month part, they have a challenge with themselves also. Because now they notice they're changing. In their mind and in their structure, their bodies saying, I don't know if I want to change. I don't know if I want to go down this path. I think I just want to keep everything the way it was because I like the things the way they were. And when things were the way they were, everything was easy. Your brain's just trying to trick you. And just trying to jumble up some excuses for you to decide to go back to being complacent, going back to being normal. And we need to try to avoid that as much as possible. We need to be able to get past our mind, get past our old habits, and be able to create new, stronger habits that are going to be beneficial to us. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be talking about that the entire month. We're going to be pinpointing more fitness each day. We have a workshop coming up. We have interviews with wellness coaches coming up. You definitely want to stay tuned, especially since we're getting so close to the New Year's. October, November, December. So October, we have Halloween. People are eating the candies. And then after you eat the candies, you say, I might as well just stay out of shape because guess what? Thanksgiving is coming. And then Christmas is coming. And then you say, I'm going to get in shape after Christmas for New Year's, right? Because you need to lose all the weight that you gained from eating poorly for 3 months. And what I want to do today on October 1st is plant a seed in your mind, to plant a seed in your head that we're going to get in shape. We're going to do things that are going to be beneficial to have the body we want by saying, prepare now. Because what the mainstream media does is that they lay out what they want you to believe in 3 months, right? So when we were having the lockdowns, the quarantine, guess what happened? They said, well, we might have to lock down. We might have to lock down. And that was happening in September of 2019. They were talking about lockdowns. And they didn't lock down until May. So when the lockdown happened, it wasn't as scary. Even though it was scary for many, right? It wasn't as like, oh my God, I can't believe we're locked down. Like, this is the worst thing ever. We were predisposed to the lockdown idea. And if you can be predisposed to getting in shape in October, in 3 months, guess what happens? You're going to be more primed to get in shape, and then you're going to be more inclined to stay in that shape because you already been mentally fortifying yourself for 3 months. It's similar to giving yourself a boost of confidence or giving yourself a motivational speech, and then all of a sudden you have all this energy, all this, all this vigor. But it happened because you started building yourself up. So we're going to take this time from October all the way until the new year to build ourselves up. Our minds, we're going to help our minds get stronger. We're going to be focused on becoming a better person, not necessarily in how we act, but more so how we operate, right? Because if we're going to be able to decide that, all right, I want to get in a better career. I want to get in a better body. I want to get into better eating habits. It happens in the mind first, and then it's going to end with you either achieving it or failing. So we are going to, of course, try to achieve and accomplish our goals. We're not going to just simply fail and give up, because that's the easy part. That's simply just not doing it. And not everyone's going to do it. Not everyone's going to want to get in shape. Not everyone's going to say, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get in shape. They're not going to do it. Because when it comes to hard work, a lot of people want the results of the hard work without doing the hard work. And as long as you have that fear or that disdain of the hard work, you're going to have a difficult time reaching new heights in your life. Because that hard work is there to build you, not break you down. And sometimes when you break down, you're just building yourself up better. But you can't be afraid to get back up. You can't be afraid to want more each and every day. So if you have any questions about fitness, please email me, coachinginsession@gmail.com. Stay tuned for all of the blogs, workshops, interviews that we're going to be having this month. If you haven't done so, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with anyone who may be getting in shape, maybe someone who's going to be getting in shape, and just say, hey, for a month, start to listen to this podcast and start to change your mindset where you can be more focused on achieving your goals rather than just staying complacent where you are. Because when you try to run a mile and you can't, it is defeat initially. But when you try to run the mile again and you succeed, you become triumphant. And that feeling of triumph is a great feeling. And if you can get there, you're going to understand that you're going to want more of it in your life. And not even so much in the fitness realm, but career realm, relationship realm. You're going to want that on all the levels. You might think that's greedy. You might think that is something that is so far-fetched. But if you think about it, why can't you have something nice in your life? Why can't you have a good life? Why can't you be the person that people say, oh, wow, I wish I look like you. Oh, I wish I had the lifestyle you have. Because it can be yours. You just have to determine if it will be yours. My name is Micah Raridan. Head over to revenconcepts.com if you're looking for a life coach. If you are just hanging out with me, always a pleasure. Please share with all your friends, family, and get everyone on the same boat to get a better mindset, stronger mindset. And so we all can focus on the next steps in society, in our world. Because if we're going to keep going down a rabbit hole, let's make sure the end of it is going to be where the pot of gold is. Until then, everyone, take care.